No, it's
the
cheese.
moon is meat.
The moon's cheese.
No, so he turns... Because remember, apparently One Piece has like multiple moons. He turns one moon into salami and the other into just some Swiss cheese, and then they have a giant smorgasbord.
The earth is split in half and becomes the bread.
And then he eats the earth.
We have 2 moons, Char and Cootery.
He could with his devil fruit probably become large enough.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely.
The earth.
Oh my god. This is the origin story of Galactus, the world leader. He's Luffy at full power.
We're recording it. Hey there, all you Nakama. Welcome back to the Yonko Podcast. I'm Burke.
I'm Brock.
And if you tuned in for our review and our reactions to Chapter 1082...
We're horny for Buggy.
That's not how I was going to word it.
We're Buggy fans.
But we're definitely feeling some things for Buggy. Maybe in the pant region.
Deep
maybe
feelings.
Not. Maybe deep in our hearts and souls.
And pants.
But so we're going to do some predictions. This is going to be much shorter than our review of Chapter 1082, but we're going to do some predictions for Chapter 1083. But first, if you enjoy our content, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications of when we're uploading new content, because we have multiple series going on, including our Yonko's React series coming out soon, or coming out as we're recording this. And then support us on Patreon if you want to throw a couple of bucks or however much you're willing to help us out our way. And just show us that you want us to keep making more content.
And comment.
And comment.
We'd love to have
Always
discussions
comment.
with you guys. You know, what did you think of the chapter? What did you think of Buggy? What did you think of Sabo and all the Lelouchians? Why was he not on Lelouchia to begin with?
Do you think Law's gonna die?
Oh, man.
Can of worms there. Anyway, no. With that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Brock, do you want me to start this week? I think last time I had you do it.
Deuce it, man.
So, I have 2 main predictions I want to talk about. One of them will be specifically for what next chapter is going to be, and then one of them, and I did kind of touch on this a little bit, just has to do with some story points going forward. So, I'm just going to get it out of the way. I do think that with Buggy hitting this new point in his life, I do think he starts to dedicate himself to actually fulfilling this dream. And I think with that, we start to see him becoming a little bit more powerful than he's been in the past. I don't know when that will be, but I think it's going to happen now. And before, like 2 hours ago, I would have never said that. Mm-hmm. So I truly believe that we got some big stuff in store for Buggy D Clown coming up. And yeah, that is not like, it could include Conqueror's Hockey. I'm throwing that out there. I don't care. Like,
that's all right.
I think that is peak Buggy at this point.
I'm of the opinion that it's less than likely to happen.
Sure.
But the fact that I truly think the possibility is there is mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my actual thought for 1083 is I think that we have to get a continuation of what's going on with Sabo, what's going on with Dragon, what's going on with Eva. We have to find out what Sabo has to say to Dragon and what Dragon's response to that is going to be. If I had to elaborate on that, I think obviously Sabo's going to talk about how the empty throne is not an empty throne and there's somebody beyond the Gorosei pulling the strings.
Yeah.
And I think that should horrify Dragon as much as it clearly horrified Sabo. I think Dragon starts to make a move. Because also, that's been a prediction I've had for a couple of chapters now. Because we're getting so many people that have been with us or we've known about since the beginning making moves. Buggy made his move this chapter / inspired his crew in this chapter. Shanks has been showing up more and more, and we now understand how he's doing. Blackbeard beat Law. Blackbeard's making moves. Luffy's making moves. It's time for...
Here's the thing. Blackbeard and Shanks have made more moves in the last 10 chapters than they have in years.
Yeah. So what that looks like for me is, I think Dragon might go out of his way to go find Luffy. And since, the last contact he had with Vegapunk was, I might be dying or I might be dead soon. Maybe he goes, maybe he resolves to find Luffy and then accidentally finds him because he's also going to go help Vegapunk. That's my thought. And that's obviously not necessarily in the next chapter, but the Sabo continuation would hopefully spur that to action. And that's just another thing that can lead to I've had this ongoing theory about what the Egghead incident's going to be. So if I had to add an addendum to that now, is so obviously at this point I think it's Katarina Devon and Lafitte on the ship outside of Egghead from Blackbeard's crew. I've already said I think she's going to turn into one of the elders to get control of the Seraphim. And I think that there's going to be some shit going on with Luffy in that mix that they're going to try and get it blamed on him. But also, I think that there's a possibility the revolutionaries now show up too. And it just causes this whole fucking incident. And once again, I think the ultimate end of the Egghead incident, as it is called, is that the Straw Hats get blamed for everything. And that's what starts this war, and I now just think that, Luffy and Robin and all these folks get involved with the revolutionaries sooner than maybe even I anticipated. So, we'll see. But those are my thoughts of next chapter / coming events and chapters. So, go ahead, Brock.
All right, well... In terms of long term, I think that's along the lines with you, where I think Cross Guild is going to become a lot more effective and a lot more team focused, as opposed to just sending out all these.
Gonna do some team building exercises.
Well, just instead of sending out all these mercenaries to do the job, I think. See, I'm mistaking him for Luffy now. What the fuck's going on? I think Buggy is going to become a lot more involved with his crew. He's not going to be a sideline character anymore with his crew. I think now that he's I think he'll have some struggles. It's hard to break habits and fears that you've had for years, but I think he's going to be a lot more involved with his crew. And I think it's going to sometimes be to detriment, but other times be to surprising effectiveness. And you know what? As weird as it may be, I think by the end of this, I could totally see a little bit of change inspired in Crocodile and Mihawk as well. Or maybe just a shade of respect, which was not expected.
I don't see why that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
It's the same way that Luffy got Crocodile to even work with him in the first place. There's almost just a respect for him there.
Or at least an acknowledgement of his skill.
Yeah. So I absolutely believe at some point he could break through freaking Crocodile's rocky exterior.
It's funny too, because there's so many ways all these major factions can be introduced or crossed. Because right now you've got Sword fighting Blackbeard's crew, but maybe Cross Guild is hunting Sword members, and who knows how many different people can come to Egghead. And what's so cool is we're getting to the point that we're breaking it down to these big powers. Even it's getting to the point that they're even bigger than Big Mom and Kaido, which I still want to see. I would love to see Big Mom and Kaido's remainders kind of choose sides.
I wouldn't even care if that specifically involves, like, obviously I've told you at this point, I would just like to go with Big Mom and Kaido are dead, because that's what makes sense to me right now based on things.
For me, it doesn't make any sense.
But even with that, I would almost love to see what they do.
Yeah.
Because also Kaido would love to be a part of that. You kidding me? Mm-hmm. Biggest war in the fucking world?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. And I hope he would, swallow his pride and follow the real Joy Boy. Personally.
No. But he would definitely, side by side that shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He'd once we're done with these marine scrubs, you and me again, bitch. I could...
Well, I didn't mean, as part of the Grand Fleet.
Oh, I know, but,
he would probably participate in, the same way Crocodile did.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's so much possibility. But anyways,
as I said in my review, or our review of 1082, Oda, it's hard for me to keep making predictions because ultimately what Oda brings me is better than what I can even imagine.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me.
Let's see. Increased effectiveness across guild, and I think they're renowned and they're throwing their hat into the ring for King of the Pirates is gonna shake things up.
It's gonna shake things way up.
Because and honestly, I think they can just as easily be allies as enemies to Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Honestly, because Buggy and Luffy have fought together on several occasions. And I don't think he really hates Luffy at this point. I think he is annoyed with him.
The most recent thing that would have even given him cause to be annoyed by Luffy was Hydroden quitting Buggy's thing. But other than that,
I think Impel Down really kind of softened him to Luffy. He's not trying to cut his head off anymore, So I can see there being a team up when it comes to, say, the world government.
Yeah.
But
what if Luffy and Buggy team up to fight Shanks?
Oh my. Know what would be hilarious to me? You know what? I'm going to put this on the table because it sounds fun, and I rarely put weird shit on the table. Kid and Law are alive.
Okay.
They're all going to meet back up.
Okay. Specifically Kid, Law, and Luffy?
I'm not saying how they're going to meet back up, but they're going to meet back up somewhere down the line.
Okay.
And they're going to be there, shipless,
okay,
dripping,
okay,
crewless, maybe a couple members here and there. Luffy's going to have this amassed fucking army and has survived his island. And a big fucking gag will be the fact, well, I survived my island. You guys lost at yours. And they will never live that shit down. Because those three, when they're together,
of course,
common sense is it's already weird. Common sense is already out the window when it's just Luffy and Kid. But Law gets infected by it, of all people. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm going to put it in there because that sounds fun. It doesn't even have to be a continual gag, but I would love for Luffy to kind of lord the fact that he survived his island of the three, while the other two were
decimated.
You're yeah, I was attacked by an admiral and CP0 and Blackbeard's pirates. Whoo, you just an emperor for each of you? Oh, okay.
Well, I was the emperor in that situation and I won.
Yeah. Also, I'm an emperor. Oh my god. I mean, Luffy's not the type to actually brag about that. But, he can be coerced into it if they try to talk shit to him. And so I'm just going to put that in there for down the line because the fact of the matter is, as it stands, Luffy's had the most success.
Yeah. So far.
So yeah. But anyways, off of that tangent. So yeah, Cross Guild will be doing good. I do think we are going to continue with what Sab was talking about. This is the first time I've been this pretty certain that we're going to continue. And I'll go ahead and add a little nugget on top of there and say this might lead us back to St. Marco and in turn to Egghead. Because I can see this, whatever he's talking about, it'll connect with the top of the world. Which, what better way to connect back into, finally bring the Saint back into it, and finally get us on the countdown to whatever the hell's gonna happen. Because, I mean...
Did you say Saint Marco earlier?
Was I wrong?
Yeah. Saint J. Garcia?
J. Garcia.
Saturn? You accidentally said Saint Marco, and that's why I was like kind of confused.
Oh, I'm never gonna hear from Alex. I'm not gonna hear the end from Alex.
Exactly. I was like, please tell me you didn't just say that.
Disgusting. I apologize. Saint J. Garcia. Saturn.
But yes, okay.
I think it would be a good way to get back to at least a scene with him and Kizaru, and what their location / status actually is, because we just saw them on a boat. Yeah. So far, they're just on a boat.
Take a good long hard look at this motherfucking boat. I'm on a boat.
T-Pain's just singing to St. J. Garcia Saturn. Motherfucker! And then they'll be talking, and it might be kind of similar to when we found out about the actual identity of Luffy's fruit, where we kind of back and forth with Luffy actually developing into that, and them talking about the truth of the fruit, you know? Where it's like Sabo talking about the truth of what he saw, and then kind of flashing back to like something that maybe Jay is talking about. And so, but I don't think it's going to be a full focus on Jay. I think it's going to be a scene maybe in relation to what Sabo was talking about. And then back to Egghead. I do think we're about due for an update on Bonnie.
Well, we're just about due for like anything regarding anyone on Egghead, because it's been a month.
So yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna summarize it,
Plus,
and I'm just gonna make my assumptions here. No credence to them, but I think we're gonna continue with Sabo's story. We're gonna learn truth. Either that truth is gonna take up the majority of the chapter, depending on how in depth it needs to get, or it's gonna be a lead in back to Egghead through Jay, and that'll bring us to some shots of potentially, what's her name? Desire Girl, the Betrayer.
Oh, York.
York, and or Bonnie, just to finally hit on some things we haven't gotten a lot of or haven't seen in a while. And yeah, I think that's what I'll set as my expectation for next chapter. I'm totally prepared for those expectations to be totally subverted or just blown away, or just be completely wrong.
I was about to just look at you and be like, "This is hard."
There's so many.
It's so hard.
And I say this every time we do predictions. Like it's so hard to choose because there's so many trails
so many
to follow.
things we could follow.
Yeah. So, but I mean, God, Oda is doing a really good job of addressing them all. It doesn't feel overly fast-paced. It feels well-paced enough that we're getting everyone's story, where they're going, but like they're not taking up too much, and they're not like just speeding through it. And yeah, this pacing is wonderful. Yeah. I'm very impressed with the pacing.
All right. Well, those are our thoughts for Chapter 1083 and beyond. Comment below. Let us know what you think is going to happen either next chapter or as we're heading forward into the rest of Egghead and the final saga. So with that, we will see you for chapter 1083 in, I think, 2 weeks. So,
You didn't say there was a break there.
well, Golden Week was this week. This chapter dropped early. So
Fair enough.
that's probably what it's going to be. So, but yeah, we'll see you in about 2 weeks' time, hopefully. And until then, stay tuned, everybody. Bye.
Bye.